Hi, Tvcrazyman here. Well, let's talk about why someone might want to become an artist or an animator. First of all, if you've got a YouTube page dedicated to artwork or animation, then let everybody know in the comments. I got a feeling there are thousands of artists out there whose work I've never seen. And it's hard getting noticed sometimes on YouTube, where it seems like a smaller group of the most popular YouTubers get pushed to the very top, and a lot of us struggle just to break through. So if we can share our work with one another, then why not? So what are the reasons for becoming an animator or a comic artist? Mine are simple, I suppose. I mean, let's be real. Most of us don't do anything if we don't think there's at least a chance we can make money out of it. Now, I know that's not true for everyone. And yes, to be an artist or an animator, you have to love what you're doing. But money definitely helps. I mean, can you make money as an animator? Well, I like to think so. I mean, some of the biggest YouTubers I've seen, at least, bring in millions of views with their cartoons. If your cartoons are directed towards kids, of course, you can expect a lot less through YouTube's monetization process. From what I gather, YouTube can't track kids, so they don't make as much money through their ads. But there are other ways to make money than monetization on your videos. Personally, I've already self-published several books based on cartoon characters like those in Caveman comics. That's my graphic novel series featuring my caveman Ugg Lug. I also have some children's books featuring my cartoon cat Lucky. Now, I have to admit, it's a real pain trying to figure out which cartoons to label for kids and which ones not to. I mean, some are easy. If you have a cartoon cat teaching kids how to count to 10, well, that's a no-brainer. But what about cartoons in general? Seems that the government requires different rules for children's content on the web than it does for adults, and YouTube has responded in the last year by asking that all content providers label their videos for kids or not for kids. For the most part, I like my cartoons to be for everyone, though, not just for kids. I mean, I don't want to make cartoons that kids can't watch, though. I grew up with cartoons on Saturday morning, and I wouldn't want to make a cartoon that was too adult that parents wouldn't allow the kids to watch it. Cartoons should be fun for everyone, and I still watch cartoons, obviously, and I don't think a cartoon has to be raunchy or whatever to be fit for adults. But that's just me. But back to the money thing. I mean, I wouldn't quit my day job. There's a lot of competition. Seems like breaking through YouTube's wall of defense to YouTube stardom can be very frustrating, like trying to knock a hole through a brick wall with your bare knuckles. I mean, you can do it, but maybe you better find a better way to get through to success than using your bare knuckles, metaphorically speaking, that is. And patience is very important, which is terrible because I'm the least patient person in the entire universe. I mean, I like to think I'm patient with people, generally speaking, but to give an example, one of the reasons I'm like a super health nut that likes to exercise every day and eat vegetables pretty much like a rabbit is because I hate waiting. I hate waiting in doctor's offices. I mean, geez, who can afford to spend all day waiting hours and hours and hours? I mean, have you ever waited in a doctor's office waiting room? I'm sure everybody has. They just expect you to sit there your entire life waiting on the doctor because the doctor is God, I suppose. I mean, I could die of a heart attack waiting and think of all the germs I'm getting sitting around waiting around with all these sick people around me. And if they're going to make me wait, then I'll just have to live as healthy as I possibly can so I don't have to go as often. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm just saying if you live a reasonably healthy lifestyle, you may have to go less. And if you live a super healthy lifestyle, you might have to go even less than that. Now, some of you may be offended that I even mentioned money. Back to the money thing. But in all honesty, there are other reasons to do animation, books or comic book art or whatever you're into. Like I said, you gotta love it. Nobody says I'll start drawing today just to put food on the table. It takes a while to get started, tons of practice, and there's no guarantees. Me, I've just always loved cartoons and comic books. Thus the books and I've written in this YouTube page. I mean, I used to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to watch reruns of Casper the Friendly Ghost on Saturday morning. Yeah, back then they had like an hour and a half of cool older cartoons that came on before the new ones started at around 8 o'clock. Now you kids these days would know nothing of that because you got cartoons 24 hours a day on cable, and you got YouTube and everything else. So you can get cartoons whenever you want to. But back then it was Saturday. That was the day, and of course sometimes around after school or between 4 and 5 there'd be reruns. But for the most part, that was it. Saturday morning. That was the day. You got up or you missed it. Now, not only that, but I have a whole room dedicated to nothing but comics. I've been playing around with art off and on for decades. Well, I remember when I was a little kid at school, I used to draw pictures of Woody Woodpecker and Popeye the Sailor, and then I would sell them for like $1 a piece. I did that for a little while anyway. Well, the last couple of years, I just decided to get really serious with it, especially when we had all that downtime thanks to the the coof sickness. That's what YouTubers call it. I think there must be some kind of rule about mentioning the you-know-what. I'm not sure what it is, but if other people always call it the coof, so I'm going to call it the coof. At the end of the day, when the lights go out, nobody ever says, "I wished I worked more hours at the bank or at the factory." Of course, nobody ever wishes they'd work more hours at anything when they're about, But generally speaking, we all have a need to feel successful at something that means a lot to us on a personal level. Now, cartoons have always made me laugh. I've always got a kick out of Bugs Bunny, Donald Duck, and the Flintstones, and, I could go on forever. So, to my fellow animators and artists out there, I'd like to know what got you into animation. Please post your comments below. I'm curious to see if anybody else ever woke up at 6:30 on a Saturday morning. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and if you would, please subscribe. And I'd really appreciate it. Thanks.
What's wrong with you?